There's something different about the INFJ. It's hard to explain, but people sense it. No matter how many years pass, they don't seem to age in the way others do. It's not just their appearance, although that may be part of it. It's something else. Something deeper. It's in their eyes, their energy, the way they move through life. They feel timeless. People who spend time with INFJs often describe them as old souls, but also surprisingly youthful. They can be wise and grounded, but also full of curiosity, wonder, and warmth. They don't fit into simple categories. That's because INFJs don't live entirely in the outer world. Much of who they are exists below the surface, in their thoughts, their feelings, and their private inner world. This connection to something deeper creates a kind of lasting presence. While others chase trends, INFJs chase meaning. While others burn out trying to keep up, INFJs go inward and reset. And while others age from stress, distraction, or emotional chaos, INFJs often find peace in solitude, nature, or stillness. That peace shows. Not in a flashy way, but in the way people pause when they speak. In the way their energy shifts a room. In the way they seem untouched by the passing trends or pressures of the outside world. There's a steady quality to them, like they're living from somewhere time can't reach. This video isn't about magic or appearance. It's about energy, awareness, depth. These are the things that keep the INFJ from aging in the way others do. Their timelessness is real, and it's something people notice, even if they don't know how to explain it. Reason number 1. Deep inner life radiates youth. INFJs live a lot of their lives internally. Their thoughts run deep. Their emotions are layered. Their imagination is rich, and their spiritual life often feels more real than the outside world. This deep inner life keeps them young, not in the sense of pretending to be youthful, but in the way their soul stays curious, alive, and awake. When you spend more time in your inner world than reacting to the outer one, you start to protect something inside you. INFJs carry that protection naturally. They can spend hours reflecting, journaling, thinking about life's big questions, or imagining different futures. This gives them a kind of emotional freedom that many people lose over time. Most people begin to age emotionally when they start shutting down. They lose wonder. They stop dreaming. They become bitter or cold from life's disappointments. But INFJs, even in their hardest moments, hold on to something quiet and pure. It might be hope. It might be purpose. It might be the belief that there's more to life than what can be seen. This connection to their inner world gives them a glow that doesn't fade. They don't rely on the world to feed their energy. They get it from within. That kind of energy doesn't wear out easily. It's renewed through solitude, imagination, beauty, and connection to meaning. And because of that, their spirit stays young, even when their body changes. There's also playfulness in the INFJ that most people miss. It's subtle, but it's there. They may joke in quiet ways, laugh at strange ideas, or find joy in the simple things. This lightness of spirit isn't forced. It comes from feeling safe in their own skin. And it often surprises people who expect the INFJ to be serious all the time. Even when INFJs go through hard times, and they often do, they retreat inward to process, not to disconnect. Their inner world becomes a place of healing. And over time, that kind of healing leaves a mark. A softness. A peace. A kind of resilience that doesn't harden but deepens. This is part of what makes people pause around INFJs. They seem untouched by the weight others carry. Not because they haven't suffered, but because they've kept part of themselves safe. A part that still sees life with depth, wonder, and grace. Reason number 2, emotional resilience and healing. Life is hard on everyone. But how a person responds to pain changes everything. Some people get stuck in it. Others numb themselves. But INFJs tend to face their pain directly, even if it takes time. They don't push it away. They move through it slowly, layer by layer, until they understand it. That process isn't easy, but it creates emotional resilience. This kind of healing keeps the INFJ from carrying emotional weight they don't need. While others might carry around old wounds for years, INFJs process those wounds in quiet ways. They journal, reflect, cry, create, or simply sit with what hurts until the pain teaches them something. That lesson becomes part of their wisdom, and the pain starts to lose its grip. Emotional abuse, betrayal, failure, these things don't break the INFJ in the way others might expect. They shake them. They hurt. But they don't destroy them. Because underneath it all, the INFJ knows who they are. Or at least, they're always trying to return to that truth. That pull toward self-understanding becomes the path back to healing. And healing, for the INFJ, isn't about pretending to be fine. It's about becoming real. Accepting what hurt. Making space for it. Then learning how to move forward without letting it define them. This emotional honesty keeps them light inside. They don't carry resentment in the same way others might. And over time, that emotional release keeps their spirit from growing heavy. People who haven't processed their emotions tend to show it. Their energy becomes guarded, reactive, or tense. INFJs, on the other hand, often feel peaceful, even if you know they've been through a lot. That peace doesn't come from avoiding pain. It comes from facing it with courage and patience. This ability to heal also keeps the INFJ emotionally open. They don't shut themselves off from love, even after heartbreak. They don't stop caring, even after being let down. And that open heart keeps them connected to something deeper, something that feels ageless. The emotional journey of an INFJ isn't clean or fast, but it's honest. And that honesty, that willingness to keep feeling, keeps their energy soft, alive, and quietly powerful. When people say INFJs seem like they haven't aged, what they're really sensing is emotional freedom. A heart that's still open. A soul that's still learning. A presence that's still alive. Reason number 3, authenticity over performance. INFJs don't try to impress people. They don't chase attention. They don't build an image to get validation. Instead, they focus on being real. They show up as themselves, even if that makes them different. And that choice, to live with honesty instead of performance, creates a kind of glow that's hard to fake. While many people change themselves to fit in, INFJs resist that pull. They may adjust slightly in different environments, but they don't lose themselves in the process. They know who they are at the core, and they live from that place. This kind of self-alignment keeps their energy clean. It keeps them grounded. And it helps them avoid the stress that comes from constantly pretending. Pretending to be someone you're not is exhausting. Over time, that pressure wears on people. It creates tension in the body, confusion in the mind, and emotional exhaustion that shows up in the face, the voice, the posture. INFJs avoid this, not because life is easier for them, but because they refuse to compromise their truth just to be accepted. This authenticity also keeps them connected to their natural rhythm. They don't force themselves to be constantly busy. They don't fake enthusiasm when they feel tired. They don't chase youth. They live fully in the moment they're in. That presence gives them a timeless quality because they're not trying to be younger or older than they are. They're just being. People notice this. They notice how INFJs don't try to prove anything. They notice the quiet confidence, the comfort in stillness. And they're drawn to it because it's rare, because it feels safe, and because it reminds them of something they've forgotten how to just be. This honest way of living shows up in small ways. The INFJ style isn't trendy, but it always feels right. Their words don't follow scripts, but they always feel sincere. Their energy doesn't shout, but it's felt deeply. And all of this adds up to something powerful, a kind of presence that doesn't fade with time. That presence comes from years of self-trust, from choosing truth over approval, from letting go of the need to impress and choosing instead to connect. When someone lives that way, they carry a calm energy that doesn't age. It stays soft, grounded, and real, no matter how much time passes. Reason number 4. Sensitivity to self-care and subtle signals. INFJs notice things other people ignore, not just in others, but in themselves. They feel when their energy is off. They sense when their mind is overwhelmed or their emotions are out of balance. And they don't just push through it. They stop. They listen. And when needed, they pull back and reset. This sensitivity becomes a powerful tool in preserving their energy and well-being. While others burn out by ignoring the warning signs, INFJs act early. They take breaks before they break down. They reflect before they explode. They retreat before they collapse. That ability to self-correct helps them avoid the kind of stress that wears people down over time. This doesn't mean they live without pressure. In fact, many INFJs feel deeply stressed and overwhelmed. But the difference is in how they respond. They don't push their bodies or minds past the edge if they can help it. And when they do get close to that edge, they're quick to rebuild. Their form of self-care doesn't always look like what people expect. It might be silence. It might be writing. It might be an afternoon alone, cancelling plans, or walking without a destination. These aren't luxury acts. They're survival. They're how the INFJ clears emotional noise, sorts their thoughts, and returns to center. This sensitivity also applies to their physical health. INFJs often notice how certain foods, environments, or people affect their energy. They adjust. They create surroundings that feel peaceful. They keep objects, music, lighting, and even clothing aligned with how they feel inside. This creates a sense of harmony that slows down the effects of external stress. When people age quickly, it's often because they've ignored their inner voice. They've pushed through warning signs. INFJs, by contrast, are constantly listening inward. They may still feel pain and stress, but they meet it with care. They meet it with awareness. And that keeps them from breaking under pressure. Over time, this creates a gentle resilience. Not the kind that shows up in big wins or loud achievements, but the kind that shows in clear eyes, calm speech, and quiet strength. People sense this and assume the INFJ has it all together. The truth is they don't. But they've learned how to notice what needs attention and give it care before it turns into damage. That kind of ongoing self-care isn't just healthy. It's transformative. It keeps the INFJ aligned, whole, and quietly glowing through all seasons of life. Reason number 5, depth always outlasts surface trends. Most people are shaped by the world around them. They follow trends, chase approval, and shift themselves to match what's popular. But INFJs live by something deeper. They're not concerned with fitting in. They're more focused on meaning, purpose, and long-term truth. And that mindset gives them a kind of timeless energy. Trends fade quickly. One year it's one thing, the next year it's something else. People spend so much time trying to keep up, they lose track of who they are. INFJs avoid that race completely. They're not interested in what's popular right now. They're drawn to what matters over time. This gives them a sense of consistency that people find grounding. While others change their identity to match the moment, INFJs stay steady. They may grow, but they don't abandon their core. They may shift, but they never perform. This loyalty to depth keeps their energy from aging the way surface trends do. Their interests also reflect this. INFJs are often drawn to timeless ideas, philosophy, literature, history, psychology, spirituality. They think in layers. They feel in generations. And that sense of depth gives them a maturity that feels balanced, not worn. This doesn't mean they're stuck in the past. It means they don't chase things that don't last. And when you build your life around depth instead of trend, you carry a kind of presence that feels solid. It doesn't fade with time. It grows stronger. INFJs age, of course, but they do it on their own terms. And because their energy is rooted in truth, not performance, they never seem to lose the part of themselves that made them glow in the first place. Reason number 6, presence that alters space. There's something about an INFJ's presence that stays with people. It's not just about what they say or how they look, it's about how they make you feel. When they enter a room, something shifts. The energy changes. There's a kind of pause, a stillness, as if time just slowed down. This presence doesn't come from effort. It's not something they practice or try to create. It's natural. It comes from the way they carry their thoughts, the way they listen, the way they remain centered in moments that make others scatter. Their calmness is felt. Their depth is sensed. And it creates a moment that feels different from anything else. This is what people remember. Not flashy stories or loud moments, but the way the INFJ made them feel seen. The way a conversation with them lingered in their mind for days. The way their quiet attention felt more real than hours of noise from anyone else. This is the kind of presence that doesn't age. It's rooted in the soul, not the surface. It's timeless because it connects people to something bigger, truth, feeling, reflection. And even years later, people still remember that moment. They may not recall what was said, but they remember how it felt to be near the INFJ's calm and steady presence. This doesn't mean INFJs are perfect. They have hard days. They carry wounds. But through it all, they keep showing up with presence. They keep listening deeply. They keep creating space for honesty and meaning. And that kind of presence never wears out. It becomes a signature, a quiet mark they leave on every room, every conversation, every life they touch. There are many reasons why an INFJ never truly seems to age. It's not just about how they look. It's about how they live. With honesty. With depth. With presence. While others chase the surface, the INFJ protects their spirit. While others burn out, they go inward and heal. They carry a softness that doesn't fade, a light that doesn't dim, a strength that doesn't shout. And that's why people notice. That's why people remember. That's why they stand out in a way no one can quite explain. If you're an INFJ, and you've ever wondered why people tell you that you seem different, that you haven't changed, or that there's just something about you, it's not a trick. It's real. And it's time you recognize it. You've protected something sacred in yourself. You've chosen truth over trend, meaning over attention, and healing over hiding. And that choice has made you glow in a way that doesn't fade with time. So honor it. Trust it. Keep living from that quiet center. Because the world needs people like you, people who remind others that time doesn't have to take everything. That presence is more powerful than performance. And that real beauty doesn't age. It deepens.